Hi, I'm Bill, the knee pain guru. I've been getting a few questions recently about Baker cysts. And essentially what's happening in the body and what tends to happen is that there's a cyst or a lump that forms in back of the knee below the knee joint. And from a conventional medical perspective, what is looked at is that the Baker cyst needs to be drained or removed. And that, of course, is certainly an option. From my perspective, how I look at a Baker cyst is that there's generally a tension pattern going on in the knee. You have the bone in the upper leg, the femur, and the bones in the lower leg, the tibia and the fibula. And the femur shifts forward and ends up being over the top of the tibia and fibula. What happens in the back is the bone ends up pushing in back of the knee joint. This causes sensitivity and pressure immediately. And what happens is what I refer to as it puts a kink in the garden hose. Your lymphatic system, which cleans out all of the goop, which is, by the way, a medical term, cleans the body out. And when you have that tension pattern going on in the knee joint, that lymph or that stuff that's the body is trying to clean out gets stuck there and it ends up swelling. If it stays there long enough, it can form a cyst. It can form a problem. And of course, the conventional approach is that it's drained or removed. However, it doesn't address the underlying problem. And what I've done is, in my website, from my approach, I have a specific program, the Comfort Zone, which addresses those tension patterns, where you're able to use comfort to correct how the bones are lined up. Because structure governs function. If the structure of the body is correct, then all of the systems in your body are going to be able to heal themselves. And that's essentially the idea, is that when you set up the conditions so your body is able to heal itself, it now has the capacity to do so. So that is the approach, looking at it from both sides of the spectrum. It's important to understand what the conventional medical approach looks at a Baker cyst as being, and that there are other solutions. Now, one thing I might add, if a Baker cyst has been there for a long period of time and it's very hard, or it's turned into a really hard cyst, getting it removed is going to be very advantageous for you to be able to be relieved of that pain. So even though you relax the tension pattern and you get the bones to line up like I was speaking about just a minute ago, if you don't address that mechanical dysfunction, the actual cyst that exists in the knee joint, that tension pattern probably will not go away. So I believe in a balanced approach. We need to look at both sides and see what is the best venue for you to approach your Baker cyst and get that situation resolved in your knee.